Hey YouTubers, here we are with the Tamiya Grasshopper that we've been running in the Poor Boys Speed Run Challenge. And if you did watch that video, it went 2.2 miles an hour. Normally I do crawlers primarily, so we went ahead and put a crawler motor in there just for fun. So here we are with our first official run, and we'll see what we can get. As you can see, it goes almost about walking speed. And it looks like we've got 2.2 miles an hour. We're going to pull this apart real quick and just give you a look as to why it was so slow. We're running a 80 turn motor, and when we pull this out, this will only take a second here to get this motor out of here. So we're just going to desolder this motor real quick so we can get these wires off of here. Okay, so we're going to pull this motor out, and you'll see that we're actually missing the other piece of it. This is the other half of the motor that we're pulling out right now. And what this is, this is a 3-to-1 gear reduction, which is why that car went so slow. So we're running the 18-tooth pinion gear, which is the stock pinion gear, but we had this 3-to-1 reduction transmission on the motor, which made it turn so slow. And this is an 80 turn crawler motor, which turns slow already. So we compounded our slow motor to a really slow situation with this transmission. So anybody but wondering, that's why it was going so slow. So we're going to be pulling this out of here, replacing this 80 turn motor with what actually comes in the Tamiya Hornet, and then it fits right in this Grasshopper. Seeing it's the same transmission and same chassis, but this 540 is the original motor that they would have put in 1984. So that's what we're going to run on the next run. So we're going to put that in there and then give it a try. So in order to get this motor in, we just have to put our pinion gear on. We're going to take it off of our, probably need the right wrench, which is not in here. So we're back. We've got our Allen driver here. We're just going to pull this this 18-tooth pinion gear off of our gear reduction here and get it put on our 540 motor here. This is kind of tight on there, but we're going to pull this guy off of here. We're not going to run that anymore. And then we're going to put this 18-tooth pinion on our 540 motor, which the Grasshopper comes with a 380. A lot of you know that, but it's quite a bit smaller motor. But it's designed to be an entry-level car. However, when you put this 540 on, this really wakes up this Grasshopper chassis and turns it into something that you know, is really fun to drive. And I can't get the bolts off, so we're going to have to take the top off, which I was hoping I would not have to, but we're going to have to take that off. The Grasshopper came with a hard body, which is all well and fine, except for the fact that it doesn't use body clips. You got to take out these 4 screws to get the body off, which I think Tamiya realized a few months after they created this, because the Hornet came out just a few months after the Grasshopper did back in 1984. So we're going to just check our gear mesh here, or the back spacing on our pinion gear. It's almost perfect. We'll just tighten that up a little. Get that tight. Put that in there. Our gear mesh or back spacing on our pinion gear is good. They make a gear adjustment on this transmission, which I don't have, and to be quite honest, I'm not trying to go as fast as humanly possible with this car. I'm just trying to have a good time with it, so we're not going to try to put a aftermarket gear adapter on it. So anyway, we're going to desolder these wires off this motor so we can get it soldered up to our car here. On these motors, yellow is positive and green is negative, in case you were wondering. Sometimes they'll have a red dot. I usually put a little mark on the side of the can to mark the negative terminal, but sometimes I forget. So anyway, we'll get this in the car, and then that'll be it for our next setup to run in the next speed run. And I don't anticipate it going too terribly fast with just this stock motor, but it's definitely going to go faster than it did the first go around at 2.2. So we're going to get this motor soldered up. We've got it installed in the car. We've got the pinion gear on there. So we'll just bring it in just a little closer so you can kind of see what's going on here. We're just going to put just a little dab of solder on the ends of these wires just to kind of help it stick on the motor here a little better. It's always a good idea to re-tin your wires when you're redoing the solder joints. And just for fun, we'll put a little on those tabs on the motor. And then I always highly recommend not holding the wire with your fingers, which is what I've done numerous times in the past, which never is a good idea. So we're just going to solder this motor on. We're just going to solder this wire on real quick, and then hold our wire in place till that solidifies, and we're done. And then ideally we want the wire where it's not going to interfere with the suspension, which on this car is kind of tricky because the whole transmission moves around as the suspension goes up and down, so you kind of want it to be right where it doesn't get pinched on top of the motor. So these wires kind of need to be right about there, and we'll zip tie those on in there or around the motor or something so they don't get too pinched in there. But in any event, that's our motor that we're going to run, and we'll put the body back on. And so that's pretty much it for the setup for the next run. And like I say, we're not too concerned about being the fastest, but at this point we're going to try not to be the slowest. But in any event, this should get us maybe 10 or 12, maybe 15 miles an hour with this motor and a regular nickel metal battery. I might run a LiPo, but I doubt it. I think I'm just going to run this nickel metal. That's what we ran in 1984, and that's what I'm going to run on this for now. So with that, we'll get the body on and see what it looks like. So just for fun, we've got our tires back on, and we're just going to give this thing a quick test here to make sure we've got our motor soldered on there correctly. It's always it's always real fun to get your car all set up, and then the thing goes backwards when you get it all done. So as you can see, we're turning the right direction. And it definitely sounds an awful lot faster now. So we should be able to get a little more speed out of that. And we'll see what we end up getting. But for now, that's the motor, and it's wired up, and it's just about ready to go. So we're just going to get our body on here. It's a little bit of a challenge to get these screws lined up and get it back in place, but that's the way it goes with this grasshopper. I've replaced all the hardware with 3mm cap heads, so it's a little bit easier to put this stuff. It's a little bit easier to drive these screws in with metric hardware, and it's just a little more fun, I guess you could say. Get the last screw in there. So anyway, that's it for now, and we've got our motor in there. We've got an actual 540 silver can. It's about a 27 turn motor, for those that are kind of wondering. It just basically means it's still a fairly slow stock motor, but substantially more powerful and faster than the original 380 that came in with the car. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. This is our setup for our next run, and we'll see you next time.